Yo, what's up, people? I'm your host, Jay Will, and I would like to welcome you to Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. Today, we're going to be exploring Enjin NFTs. That's right, people. Now, unless you've been under a rock, you've been hearing the term NFT probably the last couple years, at least since 2021, maybe quite often, maybe on and off. You probably don't know, or you may not know. I'm not going to say probably. I'm not going to put the probability out there that you don't know, but you might not understand what they are, what they mean. Why are they important? Are they stupid? Because you just heard a lot of people paying, millions of dollars for some digital picture that has no value. There's a lot of mixed opinions, a lot of mixed messages about NFTs. I've been studying NFTs over the past 2 to 3 years because my mindset is like, I really want to understand, where the world is going so that I can properly navigate it as the world becomes more and more digital. So what I've done today is slice through a lot of the stuff, make it simple for your more everyday person that don't have time to try to understand all the dynamics. And especially if you're a creator, an artist, anything like that, if you have any online content, I think this is going to be super valuable for you. And if you're just a regular everyday person out there, you might want to pay attention to, because I believe that NFTs are going to pour over into our everyday lives in a way that most of us don't realize now. And it's best to study and understand these things ahead of the curve. Lastly, after we kind of dig into what NFTs are and look at them firsthand, I'm also going to give away a free NFT to you today. And I'm going to tell you how to claim it. Like, I'm going to show you how I created it, all those things. And what's the goal? The goal is, like, I was trying to think of, if you want people to learn something, what is a cool way for people to learn? Is to give them an NFT so that they can experience the process of receiving something. Costs you no money. I get nothing out of it. I just want to share and inspire you, and again, help you navigate this world as it's continuing to change. Also, let me say this: I'm not a financial advisor, because NFTs kind of cross over into cryptocurrency. I don't want to make you think that I'm a financial advisor, or you should be taking this advice to go and buy NFTs or anything like that. This is all about just some learnings to understand and be entertained about, like, what is an NFT? How do they work? So that you could be prepared in that way. But yeah, like, talk to a financial advisor. I'm just a regular guy that did some research on my own, and I advise you to do the same. Hopefully, we can make that a little easier for you as we dig into today's content. This is Inspire God's People.
Stop saying what you gonna do till you do what you said. When you opened that Bible, you knew what you read. You felt it deep in your soul. The promise did not expire. Be inspired.
I can see beyond the tears you cry and the pain you feel. I saw every hill you had to climb just to make it here. When you say you ain't afraid to die, is it faith or fear? All right, guys, people, let's jump into today's show. You feel what I'm saying? So first things first, I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to come back to it. This is the free NFT giveaway. Now, again, I'm going to come back to this towards the middle and end of the show, because you might not necessarily know what it means right now. But if you do, you could take some time and scan that QR code right now. Pretty simple process. You're going to scan the QR code. If you don't already have an Enjin wallet, it's going to take you to the Enjin download. You're going to download Enjin wallet for free. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't like an advertisement with Enjin wallet. Enjin hit me up, if y'all trying to pay somebody to be an ambassador or something like that. But this is just, the site that I used to kind of execute this. But you scan, you download, and then you claim. Simply claim a free NFT. That's kind of the logo that's going to come up. The NFT is just simply a inspirational quote by yours truly. And I have, kind of a collection of quotes that I'm going to be dropping. Again, this is just experimental, and to allow people to be inspired and encouraged as we kind of learn about NFTs. And I wanted people to be able to learn firsthand about how an NFT works and what an NFT. I can talk, people. What an NFT is. I can talk. So yeah, scan, download, claim. Simple as that. We're gonna come back to that in a second. But for now, look, we're gonna explore Enjin NFTs. And the first thing you might be asking is what is Enjin? So that's the first thing we're gonna look at. We're gonna actually just take a quick second and look at exactly what Enjin is. All right. All right. So as you see, this is Enjin, people. And let's do it this way. All right. So this is on engine.io, simply their website. And I just want to show you a couple of quick things. Engine is essentially a digital blockchain company organization that is all about developing the virtual economy for the metaverse. And so a lot of the products and the tools and resources that they release are kind of built through that lens, which is really big in the gaming world. I would say Engine, if you were trying to like categorize it as an organization from a cryptocurrency standpoint, it would be gaming slash metaverse is probably the way that I would categorize it. Now, full transparency, Engine is a company that I've been following for the past couple years, and I really do like this company. There are a couple others out there, more than enough, but I wanted to focus on one platform to kind of go through this exercise so that you can have a better understanding or maybe an easier understanding of what NFTs are and how they work. But just know that there are competitors out there to Engine. You know, maybe hundreds of them. I don't know, but this is one of the blue chips, at least in my humble opinion, based on the research I've been doing. And there's a couple others as well. All right, so you'll kind of see some of their partnerships here. This is what I really wanted to focus on to start us off. Like, what are NFTs, right? This is how Engine defines what NFTs are. NFTs are unique digital assets created on the blockchain. They can be everything from gaming items and digital art to sports collectibles and real world assets. So, the first thing that I take from this is that NFTs really cross a couple of industries, right? The way that we may understand NFTs today may be as simple as only understanding some digital online picture that maybe some rich person pays $20 million for, but doesn't seem to have any real world value. But that's not the case. Like in all my research these past couple years and really looking at it, it's like, okay, this is going to cross over in a way that most people today can't even fathom. And the reason that is because when you think about any new technology that comes out, I can talk, you think about social media when it came out. Let's be real. Did any of us think back in 2006, 2007, that social media would be as impactful in the world today as it is? Presidents focused their campaigns on social media, right? People came out with fake news, censorship. All of these things are because social media has become such an important and impactful part of our world. Now, keep in mind, I'm not telling you that I agree that it should be that way or disagree. I'm not telling you that I am like all pro NFTs in the digital world and economy. That's not the point. The point is really understanding what is, not regardless of what my personal opinion is about the time that we spend on social media or the way that we navigate social media, the way that we censor it, control it, government involvement, all those things. That's not the point. But the point is, if you would just rewind time the past 15, 16 years, I'm willing to bet that mostly none of us would have anticipated that social media will become what it is today. And if we did, we probably would have bought Facebook stock the day that it came out, right? And there are some people that did those type of things and made millions of dollars, right? But this isn't all about money. So my point is, as we look at NFTs, the first thing that we must do when we're looking at any new technology like NFTs and cryptocurrency is try to step outside of ourselves, right? Because this is happening, right? And it's going to impact your world. So my opinion is that we should probably try to understand it now to be ahead of the curve so that we can understand how to navigate it. So what are NFTs? Again, unique digital assets. The way that I really kind of narrow down what NFTs are is that they are proof of digital ownership. An NFT is a way that you prove that you own something on the internet. Now, if you think about it today, there's no way that that really exists. Like I could show you a picture of a car on the internet right now, post it on um, post it on my Instagram page and tell you I own a Ferrari. And you would be forced to either just believe me or not believe me, but you would be looking at it and thinking like, well, he's in the car and from the angle he's showing me, but an NFT is a potential way to prove online that hey, I do really own this Ferrari. And because you can look at it on the blockchain and confirm it, like this is digital proof. Again, we're not going to go too deep in that. It's a concept that may be a little frustrating to try to understand at first. When you're first like wrapping your mind around it, it's because it's new. It's such a new way to think about anything that a lot of people just kind of throw it out the back window and say these things don't have value. This is stupid. But I would urge you to think a little deeper, to look a little closer, and we may find something. All right. So what are NFTs? Let's look at it. I love that they have these kind of bullet points. So, like I said, with ownership, here's a couple notes on the Enjin.io. NFTs are truly yours to own. No one can take them from you. All right, that's weird. Like that's a weird thing to think about ownership, but we'll come back to that. Trading fees. Get a cut whenever someone sells an NFT you created. So, as an example, I am giving you today a free NFT if you want to claim it, right? But if you ever sell that, I have preloaded 10% royalties into my NFTs. What that means, and this is also visible, you will be able to see that when you claim it. So, this isn't like a secret or anything. You will be able to see that the owner of this NFT is going to receive 10% royalties if you sell it. Why? Because I own it and I'm giving it to you. But if 20 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, all of a sudden my NFTs become worth, you know, $20,000 or some crazy amount, yes, I want my cut because I created it. And if you were to turn around and say, hey, I got this free NFT from Jay Will and I'm not selling it for $20,000, then yeah, I kind of want my cut, people. You get what I'm saying? So that's the way. It's like, give me my $2,000 and we good to go. You make your 18,000. So there are trading fees that you can bake in there. Let's look at utility. NFTs can be used in apps, games, websites, and even in real life. Now, I know that last line, even in real life, is probably throwing you off. It's probably confusing you. How could this digital picture, I can talk, people, I promise. How can this digital picture be used in real life? We'll maybe talk about that a little bit later. All right, but let's keep it going. Rarity. Every NFT is unique. That's what non-fungible means. Non-fungible means unique, right? When you think about fungible, because there are fungible tokens, and I do actually want to tell you the difference between a fungible and a non-fungible. Now, once you realize this, you'll realize that technically the NFT that I'm giving you has a fungible feature to it, right? So on Enjin's website, it would kind of fall in the fungible category, but it's still an NFT, which is confusing because it's a non-fungible for an NFT, but I'll tell you why a little later. All right, couple more. NFTs exist on the blockchain, a decentralized ledger. Look, I have an episode called Cryptocurrency for Regular People. I advise you, if this is your first time even exploring cryptocurrency at all, go check out the episode that I did, Cryptocurrencies for Regular People, and you'll learn more about the blockchain. In real world value, NFTs created with Enjin are backed by ENJ, a cryptocurrency. So as I mentioned, there is a cryptocurrency factor to this. So what we're going to look at now, Enjin created this platform called NFT.io, and that's part of the way that you're gonna be able to explore creating NFTs, selling NFTs, and things like that. But they also have their wallet, and when you go and download their wallet, that is going to be just like your physical wallet, kind of the way that you um kind of manage your NFTs. It's the digital wallet and in the place where you hold them, if that makes sense. All right, so let's do this. When we look at when we look at the fact that Now you understand a little bit what NFTs are. Let me go back here. You can scan this QR code. You're going to get a prompt to download, and then you're going to be able to claim a free NFT. Again, the entire purpose of this exercise is so that you can actually learn by experience. A lot of times it's challenging to learn about something just from hearing about it, right? Just from talking about it. So I thought that maybe it would be a good way to learn about NFTs, like getting your hands on it and actually seeing an NFT in your wallet and things like that. All right, so let's now go look at NFT.io. Oh, I do want to say this, right? For anybody out there that's thinking, why would I want to learn about NFTs? Why do I need to learn about cryptocurrency? I'll give you this. When there were some older people at my job, let's go back maybe 10 years ago. What's this, 2023? Yeah, if we go back to about 10 years ago, maybe 12, at some point in my job in sales, working as a salesperson, the organization introduced iPads and iPhones, right, as a part of your selling resources. Now, believe it or not, even though I work for a Fortune, 100 organization, in the early 2000s, we were still doing a lot of things manually. We were still writing out contracts and things like that. And when 2011, 2012, whatever that year was, came about, and the organization said, we're now going to start doing digital contracts. You no longer have to walk around with a stack of papers to walk into a client to sign a contract on paper. You're going to now be able to have your stylus and your iPad, and everything that you need is going to be loaded there. There were some older salespeople, right? Some baby boomers, that they fall in that generation of baby boomers. And when I tell you, these people, they could not function once the organization decided that we are going digital. They used to call the younger millennials like myself, and they were like, yo, like, can you please walk me through what is this iPad? I can't figure it out. And it was in that moment that I was thinking, like, man, these people let the world change fast enough to make them outdated. And the problem with that is that if you're still in the workplace, if you're still creating, if you're still trying to grow, if you're trying to do business or just properly navigate the world that you live in, whether you agree with it or not, then it's going to help you to know about it. So part of this exercise and what we're talking about today is so that you don't get left behind. That's the first part. And the other part is that from a business or financial perspective, investing perspective, again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But any event that you research some things, be ahead of the trends. If you're a creator, if you're a business person, NFTs could be something that you can utilize to grow your business. There's going to be all type of things created from this point. Created, I can talk from this point, and you want to be one of those people that are ahead of the curve. Mark my word on this. Sometime in the next year to 3 years, NFTs will be everywhere. Everyone will be talking about it. And there'll be very few people to be able to say, I already know what that is. I'm already ahead of it. I've already researched and studied it. I know exactly how I'm going to implement it into my strategy to grow my business or into my strategy to grow my personal life portfolio, whatever it is. Look, you're not going to go wrong with learning this. So, all right, let's jump into, I think I want to look at NFT.io. So let's share. Let's go there. Again, before we do that, I just want to show you once again, you can scan this QR code. You can download the Enjin wallet for free, and you can claim an NFT. And that is that simple, 3 steps. When you do download your Enjin wallet, please make sure you keep your backup phrase. If you're not familiar with crypto and crypto wallets, it's going to be super important for you to keep that backup phrase and maybe write it down in multiple places, keep it somewhere secure in a safe, something like that. Because any assets, like right now, you're just looking at getting a free NFT that's not worth anything today. But if you were to put any crypto coins or anything valuable in that wallet, you definitely want to be able to back it up and restore it if you lose anything. So that backup phrase is very important. Again, before you put anything valuable in there, make sure you understand that. But now um let's look at what do we want to look at? All right, let's remove this. All right, and let's go to, I'm going to share screen. Let's go to NFT.io. Oh, I want to show you the difference between fungible and non-fungible. Okay. So what is a non-fungible token and a fungible token, right? And this is right on NFT.io. This is still in beta. So the website is literally beta.nft.io. And let's see what they say. Types of tokens on NFT.io. Users are able to create two types of assets on NFT.io. They are non fungible tokens and fungible tokens. All right, so we look at the difference between the two. Non fungible tokens are unique cryptographic assets, which has its own ID and cannot be replicated. NFTs can look alike, but can be distinguished by a unique identifier, and they are not interchangeable. NFTs can represent digital and real world assets such as photos, arts, game items, tickets, and so on. All right. NFTs are created using the process called minting and are done using smart contracts. Users can create their own NFTs using NFT.io, which is what I did, or the Enjin platform. For the case of NFT.io, these assets are tokenized on Infinity. You may not know what that means yet, but don't worry about it. Each NFT is assigned a unique identifier directly linked to a blockchain address. Each token has an owner, and the ownership information is publicly available. All right. Here's the other part. On NFT.io, users can add royalties, which we talked about, which is received by the creator of the asset. Users can customize the percentage of royalties the creator receives from 1 up to 50% of each asset sold. So, if we look at NFTs, that's what they are. But I want you to understand fungible tokens, and then we're going to stop and talk about them briefly. Fungibility describes their interchangeability of goods. Fungible tokens are similar to NFTs, but the big differences are these assets are interchangeable and share the same ID. Users cannot distinguish the difference of these assets that come from the same set since the image, metadata, and ID are all the same. Fungible tokens can represent interchangeable assets such as a game items such as potions, health buffs, etc. All right, and you can also add these royalties. So let's stop sharing and let me just kick it just a little bit. All right, right now we're going to go off into just be creative, right? Be imaginative right now. We're talking about NFTs. The reason I want you to receive or claim the free NFT I'm giving away is simply for your own experience so that you can actually see this digital item go into a wallet and understand what the ownership means. But right now, I want to take a second to actually explore some of the possibilities of NFTs now that you might have at least just a slight understanding of what they are. If you look my background right here, that is a shoe that I designed and created called the Daydream. I made this shoe maybe 6 years ago. I think it was 2016ish. I created this shoe called the Daydream. So this is a real shoe. Now, if we explore NFTs, like, okay, I'm gonna design an NFT version of this shoe that can be worn in a metaverse video game, right? That's something that I'm working on. So, and I've already started to do that with some of my Bellwether fashion clothing items. Anyone who knows me or has known me for a while know that I've had Bellwether Fashion, which was a real life, tangible clothing line. Now I've started to design 3D versions of my clothes that if you want to walk around in a video game wearing Bellwether, then, as I'm working on it, we get to that point, you'll be able to do it. That'll be an NFT. But here's where NFTs are real cool. So you may buy the Daydream shoe right here. You may buy that on a video game and want to say, hey, I own the Daydream shoe. That's an NFT. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, Vicky? How you doing, sister? Appreciate you. Thank you so much for checking out the show. All right, so if you're able to wear this shoe in a video game, it's an NFT, which means you own it, which also means you paid real money for it, right? But then you can actually say I own this. But here's the unique factor of NFTs being digital ownership. An NFT could also reflect a real world purchase. Here's an idea. Let's say I recreate the Death to Laziness baseball cap, right? The snapback. If I create a Death to Laziness snapback and then include a QR code inside the Death to Laziness snapback, I can now be able to cross promote and give you also a Death to Laziness NFT. So what if I told you, hey, if you buy this snapback, You will also be able to get a QR code to then claim the snapback as an NFT to wear in a video game. Or what if you like thinking, I don't even play video games though. But when I go on Instagram, I want to show or be able to prove that I own the official Death to Laziness gold edition snapback, and it was only 100 of them made or something, right? The NFT may look like what we see as like picture Willy Wonka in the chocolate, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, right? Where you got the golden ticket. It may be just a digital online ticket that shows this person owns the gold edition Death to Laziness snapback, and it's a cool NFT that you'll be able to maybe post on Instagram, which Instagram is working on NFTs as well. Please believe it. I don't know if they're ready or not, but they are working on that, allowing NFTs. Please believe me that we are ahead of the curve right now, and you will look up in a couple years and this stuff will be everywhere, and you'll be able to say, I already knew what it was because I listened to Inspire God's people. Vicky, you want to do an NFT? I'm about to show you exactly how to do it. Before we get off this show, you will actually be able to have an idea of how to create it, right? And as a creator, that's why I'm sharing this. All I'm trying to do, and if you enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe. Appreciate the comments. I'm really just trying to give away free game. I've been studying this stuff for the past 3 years, and I'm trying to help other people. Inspire God's people is about educating and leading people to their God-given purpose. And in order to do that, sometimes we have to be willing to share things that we've learned, and not try to stun on people. As I posted on Facebook today, there's so much stunting and so much ego and pride amongst people that sometimes it's just about like, yo, like, let's just share what we know so that you can go use it to do what you want to do. Use your ideas, right? I'm not going to tell you all my ideas, but I want you to be able to go and execute some ideas as a Inspire God's people family member and be able to say like, yo, this is what Inspire God's people did for me. All right. So if we think about NFTs, proof of digital ownership. I want to tell you one thing. Some people may be like, why do I need to do that? That's stupid. Well, if it's stupid, why do people post pictures on Instagram every single day? It's because the digital world has value. I would argue that it almost has too much value because people put too much stake into what's happening online. But this is happening. Here's another way that you can think about digital ownership. When you go and buy a home today, right? And you end up with the deed or whatever, but you sign all these papers. You sign so many papers, and essentially you are signing all these papers to end up with this deed to be able to prove that you own it. I believe in the future that things like a deed or a title for a car will be in the form of an NFT. And you will be able to show NFTs online. Imagine you're selling a vehicle online and you want to prove to a person that you are the owner. You will be able to show an NFT of a proof of digital ownership. It's all about how you navigate the digital world. We're doing all these things and navigating in the digital world, and the infrastructure is not currently there, but that is happening. That is what cryptocurrency and a blockchain technology has actually allowed to happen. Again, this is not about whether I agree or disagree with it, but I am just sharing this is the infrastructure that is being developed in our world today. All right, so back to this. If you want to participate and start understanding what NFTs are, please do scan, download free, and claim your free Inspire God's People NFT. Simply just a quote, nothing fancy. This is just to allow you to be able to understand how these things work. You scan it, you download the Enjin wallet, it's free. You save your phrase, your passphrase, and everything, and then you claim your NFT when you log back in. Very simple, easy process. You can scan it right on the screen, right there. And I created this simply to show you how to work through this process. All right, so let's keep it moving. What do we want to talk about now? Let me go back to my screens. Let's see where we want to go. We talked about what an NFT is. We talked about NFT.io. I do want to go back to NFT.io. That's where I want to go right now. Let's go to NFT.io. We talk about how to create an NFT. So this is the site that I use to create an NFT. Now, again, you're going to need an Enjin wallet. You may need a couple of more steps because you have to have cryptocurrency in your wallet and things like that. That'll be another episode that I'll talk in depth about. But just a high level overview. of how to create an NFT. Keep in mind, NFT.io is simply one. Like this is one of the platforms that you can use to create NFTs. It's one of the ones that I really like. It's still in beta, so this is not even the finished version of this site or this experience. This is in beta. All right. So what you see here is discover a universe of your NFTs. NFTs have to be minted. Minted is essentially when it is officially created on the blockchain. So there's a process when you're creating an NFT. You go, you name your collection. If it's a part of a collection, you name that particular NFT. You make a description about it so that people understand exactly what it is. And we're going to look at some examples. So don't worry. We're going to actually go into the marketplace up here and we're going to look at some examples of NFTs so that you can understand exactly what I mean. But then let's see. All right, so you create it, and then what I did was after I created my collection, then I created this beam. This is why I like NFT.io. So you create this beam, and this is how I came up with the QR code, right? So the QR code allowed me to be able to share that with other people to be able to claim it, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. And part of this was me going through this process as well. I'm giving the NFT away for free for you to be able to experience what it's like to claim an NFT and have an NFT and own it and see it in your wallet. But I did this for myself for the benefit of being able to understand from start to finish as I create, right? Because there are going to be NFTs that I want to create around Inspire Guys people. And from start to finish, what does that look like? I want to just go through that process of seeing someone claim it, whatever, before it's actually available for sale. And when I'm selling them, they'll be more creative and more in-depth NFTs. But I thought a simple quote that someone can actually own would be pretty dope as a start. And imagine, like, as we think about NFTs, right? Let me pause and say this. As you think about the value of NFTs or why someone would want to own it, imagine this, right? So I'm an artist. I create music. Imagine if I create an album and then I tell you you can actually own, you know, pieces of the music video. Let's say I mint 200 of this one verse from a song that I have. I got a song called The Difference, right? What if I took verse 1, took the video and minted 100 NFTs and sold them for $5, right? All right, cool. This is just an example. Well, if I sell that NFT for $5, maybe you as a supporter or someone who loves my music is like, you know what? I literally want to be able to say that I own part of this video version of this verse. I'm one of 100 people that own it, right? Well, think about this. Think about it in terms of your favorite artist, because I might not be your favorite artist, and you might be thinking like, bruh, I don't really care to own this. But let's just take Michael Jackson. Everybody likes Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, if you could have owned, the first verse of Smooth Criminal, right? And now Michael Jackson has passed. Like, I mean, from a business standpoint, that might be worth a lot, or it might just be a keepsake that you can always say, like, yo, I am one of the people that own that. We're gonna actually look at video NFT ownership in a second here on NBA Top Shot. That's something I want to show you. Vicky, you say I'm definitely want to, you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate people like you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and you say you just listen. See, you a real one. You definitely a real one. I appreciate the love. I appreciate anybody who listens to my music. J Will Music. If you never heard of me, just put it in YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. JWILMUSIC. All one word. All right, now back to this with the NFTs. Again, if you're just joining, we got to scan, download, claim your free NFT. I get nothing out of this unless you sell it. Then I do get a royalty. But scan this QR code, download, and claim your free NFT. We are exploring Enjin NFTs and talking about how you could leverage NFTs as a creative, as an artist, the value that they bring into the world, both digitally and in the real world. Vicky say Dream Traveler is your favorite. I love Dream Traveler with Chantel Hampton. Shout out Chantel. That's one of my personal favorite songs as well. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the NFT marketplace, because what I want to be able to do is show you exactly what it looks like when you are in a marketplace for an NFT. So let's first explore collections. Let me make sure this actually is going. Is this going? It is going. All right. So let's look at collections. Right here, if I type in, oh, I don't even have to type it because it was one of my recent. But if you type inspire, you see, um, you'll see mine comes up, right? This collection. So this is the collection part of what we're giving away right now. When you look at it, it says creator royalties 10%, created June 2023. I got 2 items in here. All right, so this is the quote. I created 100 of these, couldn't see this far, but we made it by faith. That is a quote from one of my songs entitled This Far. So when you look at this, there's 100 of them. 6 people have gone to view it. This is this quote you have down here. The first NFT collection by Jermaine James at Inspire J. Will, host of Inspire God's People, the podcast. As a Christian rapper, speaker, and podcast host, I have many original quotes, right? So then you could say about Jermaine, right? You could look at information about me, any details, and then you see the number of them. And so, hey, this is what NFT.io looks like there. Now, let's just go to the marketplace itself, right? So, if you look at the marketplace, let's say as an example, these kind of weird. Let's type car, Flash. Okay, the Flash, Scarlet Speedster. So this is an NFT with the Flash image. There's 1,000 people that hold this. So there are 1,000 holders, 1,000 of them available. And as you see, the artist information, 9.5 EFI. That's mean this is only 51 cents. So if you wanted to buy this, you need a wallet. You would be able to pay 51 cents. And then this NFT would end up being in your wallet, and you would be able to go and prove that I own that. No different with shoes. Let's see. Right. So you would be able to go and say, hey, is this for sale? Sometimes it may not even be for sale. This doesn't look like it's for sale. But you get the overall point of what the marketplace for NFTs are. All right. So there's one last thing that I want to look at before I get out of here. And I want to show you NBA Top Shop, which is it's like the NBA, the digital version of collecting basketball cards. Now, as a kid growing up, I collected basketball cards all the time. And I had a notebook, a binder full of basketball cards, and was excited anytime I got a new card. Now, in the digital world of cryptocurrency and NFTs, there are NBA moments. So the NBA has a partnership with the company Dapper Labs, and Dapper Labs does the sports NFT. So we're going to take a look at it, a real life look at what that looks like today on the marketplace. Okay, let me take a sip of my, what's this, coconut juice? Oh man, I got a couple pieces of ice. That's not good. All right, we got it. All right, so this is NBATopShot.com. We're on the marketplace. This is also a site that is in its beta version, but these are video NFTs. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to see the NBA is already in this business. So if you want to say, NFTs, I don't think they real, I don't think they gonna last. These big businesses and organizations behind the scenes are already rolling this stuff out. And for whatever reason, there's still a lot of the mainstream public that are always late to the party and just don't believe something until they standing in line, buying an iPhone, waiting for 3 hours, right? All right, so let's explore this marketplace. First, let's actually understand what is NBA Top Shot. What are these digital NFT moments? How do they work? All right, so the first thing is, why do these things have value? The same reason that things in the real world have value. It's based on supply and demand. The lower supply and higher demand, the more value that something has. So one of the ways that basketball cards and collector cards work in general is that if there are less of a card that exists, so let's say if there's this Michael Jordan rookie card, and let's say there's two Michael Jordan rookie cards. One of them is worth $1 million, and one of them is only worth $400. And you're trying to figure out, like, why is the one that's worth a million worth a million? Why is the one that's worth $400 worth $400? And it's probably going to be something as simple as the fact that the card that's worth a million, only four of them exist. Only four were ever made. In the NFT world, that would mean only four were ever minted. So think of the word minted as produced, right? Once something is minted on the blockchain, it's created or produced. So, but if the other card, if 4,000 of them exist, then it's just a common card. It's not as rare, so it doesn't have as much value. Now, of course, other things like the condition that it's in, the design itself, or whoever created it, all those things are going to add to the value or take away from it. But generally, when you look at supply and demand, things that are scarce are of more value, generally speaking. All right. So that is the tiers. When you think about the tiers of these collection video cards, they're really in four tiers. Legendary means that these are very scarce. They only represent 0.9% of the total moments, right? Or let's say video basketball cards that are in existence. So these are legendary. The rare ones only represent 1.6%, right? So you think from going legendary is 9/10 of a penny, and then the 1.6% is rare. 2.5% is, they call it fandom, and it's common if it's just like, hey, there's so many of these that it represent is 95% of the total moments. All right, that may not make sense, but we're gonna look at it. There's also these badges that bring value to them as well. A top shot debut, 3-star rookie, championship year. These things all matter. All right, so now let's actually look at some of the moments. We're going to look by player. So let's look at LeBron James. Keep in mind, this is actually live today. So if we're looking at LeBron James moments, you see this moment here is common, right? So this is only worth $27. This one here is worth $15. It is also common. So there's a lot of those. But what happens when we start looking at LeBron James moments that are legendary? Let's look at this right here. So this is the actual moment. So what you're watching on video is the NFT that you would actually own, right? And keep in mind, this is a legendary moment. I believe there's only 99 of these that exist. And right now, if you want to buy it, the lowest available right now is $6,000. So if you want to own this moment right now, and you see, this is the shot. This is the shot that LeBron took the NBA scoring record with. So this is a legendary moment. Only 99 of them were ever minted. 10 of them are for sale right now. So only 10 of these are for sale. And if you see the average sale price, they're going for $6,600. So right now, there's someone only asking $6,200. So that is the cheapest it's been. And the most that one of these have sold for has been $19,388. And you could select and buy it right now. Okay. That's an NBA moment. Now let's look at some players other than LeBron James, just to give you one other example of how this all works. Let's look at Giannis, excuse me. If we look at Giannis, let's see what Giannis cards are going for. So those are all common. We got a rare one for only $29. As you see, Giannis's are not as much as LeBron's, right? So one of his legendary moments are $425 today. And then you see you can own something for as low as $2. Let's look at what you can get for $2. For $2, you'll own this moment right here, where Giannis is doing his pass. There's over 4,000 of these that exist, so that's why it's not worth that much. 153 of them are for sale right now, and you see the most that it has gone for is $15. But you could own it. So just like me, when I used to own basketball cards growing up, you know, and I actually do own a couple moments, by the way, if you were wondering. I do own some. Let's see. Let's look at one. Okay, Jokic just won the championship. All right, let's look at Jimmy Butler. This one is legendary. I was looking for something legendary that's expensive. I wanted to show y'all something. I mean, $6,000 is expensive. Okay, here's a Jokic that's legendary. This Nikola Jokic 2023 NBA Finals moment. There's 59 of them that exist, 7 for sale, and this is $4,200 right now. The average sale is $3,400. So as you could imagine, he is now the MVP of the finals and has a championship. And so this is now increased in price and has gone for as high as 77.50. Now, I want you to imagine, let's stop sharing and let's think through this. I want you to imagine as a creator, what are the things that I can create with an NFT? And you should be thinking about this now before everybody else figures it out and finds out about it, because this is how you get ahead of the curve. This is how you become ahead of the trend and become an expert when everyone else is just a novice. And the thing that always amazes me is that these things are happening in the world behind the scenes every day right now. There are partnerships, there are large companies. All the major companies you could think of have some level of cryptocurrency involvement, NFT involvement. They're figuring out how are we going to make millions or billions of dollars by creating this whole new avenue of content creation and things like that. So I really just wanted to show you and be a catalyst to get you your mind to thinking about some of the possibilities that are available to you through this untapped potential that we're really at the beginning stages. So this is just where it stands today. We don't know where this is going to go. Again, I'm sure in some ways it's going to be negative, just like social media. Technology is never all good. But at the end of the day, you have to understand it to know how to navigate it in the first place. And so that's why we wanted to talk about NFTs today. And that is why, as I've been saying, I am giving away a free NFT to you. You can scan this QR code, download the Enjin wallet, and then claim your free NFT. This is just a free way for you to get involved in the world of NFTs and be able to understand how they work. And when you see things happen, it just makes it easier to understand. Some of this stuff is challenging to explain before people are ever actually physically or tangibly involving themselves in it and becoming experts. So, I don't know. What do you think about NFTs? You tell me. Like, how do you feel? Do you think that they're going to be a huge part of the future in content creation, or you think I'm tripping and I'm wilding? Because I do think that there are going to be some ways that NFTs really take over. When you think about something as simple as YouTube shorts and TikTok videos, you know, 3 years, 5 years ago, let's say, we never knew that these were going to even be a thing. We never knew that these 15-second videos were going to be that popular. 5 years ago, Instagram didn't have it. YouTube didn't have it, right? So that's what I mean by being ahead of the curve sometimes, is trying to understand where things are going before they get there so that you can understand how to navigate it. And in some instances, from a business perspective, also be able to be compensated for being first to the party. And so many times, I'll tell you this from a personal standpoint in my life, I'm old enough to have been around when the real estate crash happened in 2008. And I remember houses just kind of like being cheap and like not being able to afford even a cheap house. I remember that. But there was an opportunity that was created for people who could see ahead. I remember when social media first came out, right? I remember when smartphones first came out. And when you think about from an investment standpoint, imagine if someone invested in Apple and were ahead of the curve with technology. Like, there are people who did it and made millions of dollars, right? When before the internet was the internet, before it was Web 2, which is the social aspect of the internet. Understand that everything that I just showed you and talked about today is Web 3. And that is the next phase of the internet is Web 3. I encourage you to Google that if you've never heard that term or not quite familiar with what Web 3 actually means. That's dope, Vicky. You say Vicky says you want to know more, and that's what all of this was about. Vicky was being able to introduce people to something in hopefully a positive and productive way. Again, not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to go buy NFTs. I'm not even telling you to go create them. You go, do whatever you want to do. But I wanted to introduce people to this concept because my fear is that so many people are sitting on the sidelines that you know, they're just going to be consumers of this stuff once it hits the world. But I believe in being a contributor, and in order to be a contributor, you have to be willing to be on the front end of some things. It doesn't mean everything you do is going to go right. Doesn't mean you're not going to fail sometimes. I got many of failures, plenty of failures. Um, but at the end of the day, you got to be willing to fail in order to succeed. And I've also enjoyed just learning about NFTs. And that's right, you got to take the risk and figuring out ways that I want to integrate it in my business. I have a lot of ideas about how I can bring even this podcast to life, where I'm envisioning where you can own pieces or portions of the podcast. So imagine not just the videos, the shorts that I upload every day. Imagine they're just not clips that you're just watching just to watch them. Imagine you actually own some of these, right? And similar to the NBA moments, maybe some of them will be rare. Maybe some of them I'll only make 5 of them, right? And that brings some value to this really great moment on the show. And you only 5 people can own it. Maybe 5,000 people can own another one, and it won't be worth a lot, but it'll still be cool to get. That's really the concept around all of this. But I believe NFTs are going to be a huge part of music, huge part of gaming, right? If you don't understand the gaming aspect, you may not be a gamer, but these people now, like, they play games like Fortnite. It's all about the skins you buy. I don't play Fortnite, but I understand it. Like, you buy swords or you buy different armor. Those the only reason those aren't NFTs is because they weren't minted on the blockchain and you don't actually own them and they stay in the game. A lot of NFTs are going to be interchangeable from different games. You can take it with you. Part of the reason you own something is because it's yours. I own this hat. I could wear it in the house. I could wear it outside. I could wear it to Kroger, Walmart. I could go anywhere in this hat because it's mine. On Fortnite, when you buy the skins as they exist today, you don't actually own them. So you can only use it in Fortnite. But imagine a open digital economy of games, like that's what the metaverse really, I believe it is or will be, is this open intersection of like, oh, I own these shoes in this game. I could take these shoes and wear the same shoes in another game. Imagine an NBA game where you have an NFT of some special shoes in 2K, some Nikes, and then you could take those same Nikes and upload them and wear them in Madden. But when you wear them in Madden, they turn into cleats. This is how NFTs work. It all sounds crazy now, but please believe me, the more these things develop, the more that the world kind of hops on the bandwagon, the more you will see productivity and growth and things like that. And hopefully today's show has allowed you at least an introduction to understanding them. And hopefully you take the time to scan, download, and claim your free Inspire God's People NFT. Look, be a part of our journey and be able to say, yo, this was the first NFT I ever owned. That's what I'm hoping for some people, just to be a part of your journey, your story, as Inspire God's People family. Listen, y'all, I've enjoyed kicking it with you. If you've enjoyed this content, please do like, share, subscribe, tell someone about it. Maybe you know someone that doesn't know what an NFT is and they need to know. They own a business, they're artists, and you think this will be valuable to them. Look, please do share it. But look, just know this. I appreciate you. And this has been an amazing, amazing,